Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Today, we are talking about the reverse investment strategy. So let me know when you're here. Give me a hello. Give me a hashtag live. When you're live, give me a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. This is something near and dear to my heart because I've been actually teaching this for years. And this is something that I attribute to the fast growth of my business. And it's something that a lot of business owners don't get right. So I want to walk you through a process that I hope is going to be very beneficial for you. And this is all about investing in the right order in the right things where you actually spend the time, effort, and energy in your business in order to get the most out of your business growth, in order to get sustainable growth. So let me know when you are here. Give me a hashtag live, and we are going to dive right in to the reversed investment strategy. Now, what I want you to do is if you have any questions, go ahead and drop those questions in. Let me know. Let me know if you have any questions, but I always like to start with a mini training. Okay? Are y'all ready? If you are ready, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. So, here's what we're going to do. I want to introduce this to you nice and sweet because the reverse investment strategy. Hey, Brooke said ready. The reverse investment strategy is something, like I said, that I learned early on in my business. I did not know this was a thing because I thought everybody knew this. And what I have found is that a lot of times in business, when we get started, we don't necessarily know where the best place is to spend our time and energy. Let me know if that's been the case. Let me know if that's been the case for you. Right? No one is telling us this. Nobody is saying, right, here's how you should spend your money. Here's how you should spend your energy. Hey, Eva, here's what you should be doing in this order. And so, what I want to do is to show this to you. Let me know when you can see my screen. Just say screen when you can see my screen. I want to show you how I actually invested my time, my money, and my energy in my business. And this is one of the things that allowed me to grow really, really fast. Okay. Who's excited about this? So let me dive into the premise behind here. Right? How many people have been spending a ton of money in their business? And we keep finding things to spend money on. There's always this next thing that we can do, or this next big thing that's on the horizon. And it's true, you will always be investing in your business. I think the real question is, are these things moving the needle forward? So before you spend, I want you to think about this. What is that spending yielding? What is my return on investment? And then what are the things that I needed to have in place in order for this spending to even yield fruit? I think that's a huge question. What did I need to have in place foundationally beforehand for this spending to even yield fruit? So, these are some of the things that I am going to show you. One, the bad investments that you need to avoid, why most people don't actually need funding for their business initially. The whole thought of funding gets us in a chokehold. Hey, Charlotte, how to use leverage to get cash. And you should be focusing right now, meaning what investments should you be focusing on right now in order to get the most out of your business? Are y'all ready for this? Charlotte said, yes, Lord. Yes, yes. Let's get this party started right. Let's get this party started quickly, right? So, here's the first thing we need to do. For the people that are clickety clanking away on their business plan, start writing that business plan right now. Okay. That business plan is not the thing that you need to be focusing on. Why? Because take this from a business banker, a former business banker, one of the top business lenders in the Southeast. We never looked at a business plan for your funding. Most business plans are trash, they're full of fluff, and they have nothing to do with you actually making money. Okay? They have nothing to do with you actually making money. So getting on and saying, right, like, here's my target audience, here's all of the ideas, here's all of the things, here's all of the things that I could possibly do, here's what's going to happen, here's the money that I need. Here's one thing that I want to tell everybody. You know what your initial business plan should be? And I learned this from my billionaire mentor, my professor in entrepreneurship. You know what he told me when I was trying to work on a business plan? Hey, Thea, congratulations on your win. Right? He said, the only plan that you need is to take your behind out there and start trying to sell your product to people and see if they'll buy it. The first thing that you need in your business plan is proof of concept. So the first thing that you invest in, right? The first thing that you invest in your business is clarity of what you are offering and something that will allow you to get a win and momentum. Okay? Kendra said, dang, that seems so simple. It is. This was what a billionaire mentor told me. Stop writing the plan, get out there and get a win. See, it's easy to write a plan about selling something, but when are you actually going to sell it? That's the actual plan. Show me you can go sell it. Show me you can go sell it. All right. So here's the concept. Money loves speed and money rewards momentum. I'm going to say that again. Money loves speed and money rewards momentum. And so that means when we are starting out in business, the first thing, our first order of business is to create something that generates money quickly. It doesn't have to be the perfect thing. It needs to be your first sale, your first win. Kendra said it's crazy because a lot of coaches and stuff will tell you to make a plan, create a roadmap, etc. And I've always hated to do it, but I've done it. But your stuff makes so much more sense and works for my brain type. Thank you, girl. You're welcome. Think about it. Has anybody, I want to get a show of hands in the audience. Has anyone ever wrote something down on a sheet of paper and then by osmosis, you made money from it? You wrote something down on a sheet of paper and then through osmosis, you made money from it. Now, there's nothing wrong with planning. There's something wrong with thinking that your plan is the actual thing that makes money. If that was the case, everybody would be a bazillionaire. And if that was the case, the graveyard would not be the richest place on earth. Plans mean nothing. So your first order of business is to get your first speed, get money, because money loves speed. And then that speed unlocks momentum. Okay? Are we good with it? All right. And here's the thing, speed requires you to not necessarily have everything to get there. Because somewhere along the way, we decided that movement required movement required perfection. That movement required learning all the time. Where are my smart people? Y'all love to learn. All right, you love to learn. And movement literally just requires movement. So let me show you now the things that you invest in the order. This is the same order I invested in. And I'll tell my story along the way to help you win fast and to get momentum. Okay? Are y'all good with that? Right? Thea said learning to learn. Yes, learning to learn. I want a grade. I want a grade. Let's go ahead. Let me know when y'all can see my screen because you should see the reverse investment strategy. Right? Ramona said too much learning has led me to lack in the past. Absolutely. Right. All of this learning, all of this learning. Okay, Thea, you can see the screen. Somebody go ahead and take a picture of this. I'm going to break this down. This is your reverse investment strategy. This is how I invest in businesses. This is what I assess. And this is what unlocks movement and momentum and money in your business. Y'all ready? Okay. So, what you'll see, can y'all see this? The first thing you'll see is the investment in strategy. And this is important because what I've seen is when people are writing business plans, their business plan is not actually a strategy. It's just a word salad. Right? It's a word salad. Here's my demographics. Here's who I'm targeting. Here's the foot traffic coming past. Here's all this stuff. Great. I love that for you. That's not a strategy. That is a word salad. So, what does your strategy look like? This is when you invest. If you're going to spend money, invest in getting support, whether that's through a course, whether that's through a session, whether it's through a program, and understanding what you are going to do in order to make money. That is the only thing you need to put. It's not what my website is going to look like. It's not what I am going to, what demographic. It's literally what is my expertise? How do I monetize it? Are y'all taking notes? What is my expertise and how do I monetize it? Very crisply, very succinctly. That is the first thing that you invest in. And this is very difficult if you have a whole bunch of ideas floating around in your head. Because guess what? Even if you did started writing a business plan and you got a million ideas floating around in your head, and there is no succinct thing that you can do, your business plan is even going to be trash because it's a word salad of ideas. What is my expertise? What is the thing I'm going to do to monetize it? And I'm boiling this down to something that is a little more simplistic, but that is the true thing. Like a true strategy is what is my expertise? How am I going to monetize it? If you cannot answer those two questions very simplistically, you do not have a strategy. Are we good? The second thing we're going to go to, now that you have a strategy, spend money, time, energy, effort in how to now package up your expertise. Do you guys realize what an offer is? Is literally how you package your expertise. And your offer contains the container by which you're delivering it. It contains the deliverables, the promise. It contains how you message it, and it contains how you price it. So that is the next thing you need to be investing in. Whether you do it yourself, whether it's you investing time, whether you're investing money to get expert help, your offer is the next thing you invest in. Okay? So your offer is all of the things that have the packaging in there. Now, after you do your offer, I know I'm moving fast, so stop me if you have any questions. Y'all ready for number 3? A lot of people think like now it's time for me to invest in my branding and my website and my all that stuff. Nope, nope, nope. Or here's my favorite one. People will go hire a VA. What you hiring a VA for and you don't even know about which you don't even know like what you need support with at this point. We're not hiring people right now. We are now going into our systems. Because now that you have a strategy, now that you have an offer, now it's time to start building out the systems. Okay. And what I mean for systems is right now, you need a system for people to be able to purchase your offer, and you need a system to be able to fulfill your offer. So, how can people pay me? How can I give them what I promise after they pay me? So this is what I mean for your back end. Do you see yet? We haven't talked about marketing. We haven't talked about sales. We haven't talked about any of that stuff yet. And all of these things can happen really quickly if you just move. Thea just had a great question that I'm going to answer. How many times do you need to sell an offer to create a system for it? Thea, you can create a system as soon as your offer is birthed. And so the system doesn't have to be super robust right now. And what do I mean by that? So this is, I always, I don't care what new offer I create. And y'all know I will spin up an offer in 2 seconds flat, right? Even at the bare minimum, every offer that I create, I have a system that I can accept payments. So I will go in and create a quick checkout page real quick. And then I have a system that will deliver a confirmation to people in whatever they do. Even way back in the day, before I built out a course portal or anything, do y'all want to see what my like kind of back end fulfillment was? Even if it was something like this, let me see if I can find it. Take schedule. Back when I had a program called Credit Architect. When I first started this, y'all can see this, the dates on here and everything. Can y'all see this? I literally would have this Google sheet, right? That like I'm like, hey, people would join Credit Architect. So I had a checkout page where they would join. That page would be like, this is the cohort that you're joining. And then they would get an email. That's a part of my system. An email that says, here's your schedule for the class. And y'all see, even back in the day, folks used to be struggling with what Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific time was. So I had to put that on here. But I literally had a schedule. And even though it was a live class, on this time, I would be there when I said I was going to be there. That was the process, right? I also programmed it where they would get a reminder before each of these sessions. That was it. But even something as simple as that, like that, when they paid, they got a confirmation. That's a part of a system. And they got a link to this. And then they got an email for every session. That didn't mean I had this big detailed workflow, all of these things that I did. I built a simple system to deliver to them. Okay, makes sense? So you want to build your system for your offer. Can people pay me? Can I deliver? That is it. That is what we're talking about with your back end. Okay. Now, let's talk about before you go in, right, and start building out funnels, meaning the sales portion of this. Before you build out a full blown funnel, we like to do a cash infusion. And here's why. If you can't sell it ugly, you're not going to be able to sell it pretty either. Especially if this is brand new for you. I need to talk to somebody on here. If this is something brand new if this is something that you haven't sold before, you're still getting used to it. In the beginning, you are not going to have the data to really go in and build out, right, a full blown funnel. Do y'all know when you're building out a funnel, a really good one? And the people that are working with me in Create to Cash know this, right? You have to have so many data points about your audience. And in a lot of cases, you can lean on me to help give you the voice of your audience. But the way that you get that easy momentum is you get it out there in front of people, just like my billionaire mentor told me. Get it out there in front of people. See what real people have to say about it, not you. And so this is an important piece of the puzzle, because if we are trying to tweak and refine and make funnels so pretty and do all of this, and we're just not getting out there and leveraging the most powerful sales tool that we have. Do y'all know what that is? Do y'all know what the most powerful sales tool you have is? Let me know, because I'll tell you. The most powerful sales tool that you have is yourself. I have built over 1,000 funnels at this point in time. 1,000 funnels. 1,000 sales funnels I've built. My funnels have generated millions of dollars in sales. I've yet to meet a funnel that can outsell me. I have yet to meet a funnel that can outsell me. I want you to think about it. How is an artifact that you create meant to sell your intellectual property, your energy, your essence, your expertise, your brain better than you? So the thing is, if you don't initially embody the funnel that you want to build, the funnel can't do the heavy lifting for you. The funnel is an amplification and an extension of you. So this is why we have Nuri saying, "Stop yelling at me." Yelling. If you can't sell it ugly, you can't sell it pretty either. All of these things that we create are extensions of us. And so I want you to think about the energy that goes into it. If you're like, I need all of this before I can do it, guess what, friend? Even when you do it, you still gonna need all of this. And so it's not going to work. Okay. So we build out the funnel after we have sold. Is this making sense? Reverse investment strategy. I'm going fast. So let's, for the people that just joined, remember we got strategy first, we got our offer second, right? We have back end third. Y'all, do y'all want me to do an example of this? I'm gonna do an example of a physical product and a like info product. Are y'all ready? Who's ready? I'm gonna give an example of how I would sell it. So let's pretend. Y'all ready to put your pretend hat on? I have now gotten clear on what my strategy is. I know how I'm going to make money. And I've nailed my offer. I've nailed my offer. And now I have a way for people to accept payment. So I built my back end system. I have a way for people to accept payment, and they can do, they're getting their like back end fulfillment. So I've done that. Okay. Ramona said, "Can you do a service?" I sure can. Let me get a product. We'll do a candle. Okay. Y'all ready? Hey guys, this is Kendra again. So I am going live all week this week because I have unlocked something amazing. For years, I've been refining this product, these candles, and let me tell you the background behind them. I am someone who, maybe like you, has been working for a long time. I started working when I was 16, right? And I have always been like an overachiever, always wanted to do the most. And what that introduced in my life was just like a bit of becoming a workaholic, which of course that leads to stress. And it did not help when I got in corporate America and started climbing the corporate ladder. And I started getting even more stressed there. How many people have felt that before? Where are my corporate people that have felt that stress and that pressure? And the more I climbed, the more the stress started piling up, and I needed to find an outlet. I needed to find a way. And what I started doing was researching aromatherapy. I started researching flame therapy, and I started creating these candles that became an outlet for me. But then I realized, like, with the combination of me creating these and the aromatherapy and the flame therapy, all of those things started to give me an outlet to manage my stress. And so I created stress free candles for you to not only be able to participate in the making of your own candles, but to activate the same type of therapy that I started doing for myself to help me relieve my stress. So this week only, I am sending my kits, my stress free candle kits to everyone that shops this week for 50% off. These are pre order. Right now, they'll be shipping out in the next 30 days. So, this is a pre order event, and we'll make sure that you get something that you love. You get to customize with the scents that you want. And I'm going to go ahead and say, everyone who wants to participate, go ahead in the comments and drop stress free for me. And I'll send you a link to get your kit. Okay, are we good with the candles? That's how it sells. I would go live every freaking day. This is one of my favorite scents, by the way. Okay, y'all ready to buy? And I don't even have a company called Stress Free Candles, but I guess I can start one now. Okay, so that's that. I went live, made sales. Kendra asked, what's the best way to increase your exposure for these live events? First and foremost, I would go live multiple places. The second thing I would do is I would literally just continue to go live because people don't have to be on the live to see it. Actually, in the algorithm, you are going to see more views later on because the algorithm likes pushing the lives, but also you can run inexpensive ads to your actual live event as well. So that is something you can do to get the word out. Okay. All right. Y'all ready for me to do a service based one? Service based, info product, service. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this ready. What services am I going to do? Oh, let's do this. Um, Hey guys, it's Kendra. So I'm going live all week this week to talk about how to unlock a new level in your business using the power of AI, but not in the way that you've thought about it before. While everybody else is out here building custom chat GPTs and playing around with bots, what if I told you that you could actually build your own version of ChatGPT that you could sell to clients as a custom technology and unlock a completely new revenue stream in your business? Let everybody else play around with the bots. I got something else for you. Let me tell you how my journey began. Years ago, I started building technologies for the largest companies in the world. And what I realized is building technologies for the largest companies in the world is that even the big guys, even Fortune 500 companies, get it wrong when it's time to understand what their end user actually wants, what their clients actually want. And I was able to do a lot in order to make sure that we were building things. I would literally come into companies and be like, your technology is trash. This is stupid. This is stupid. Your user doesn't think this way, right? Let me design something that people are actually going to use, they're actually going to adopt. So I developed a way of not only thinking like the client, but then connecting that to your technology. Think about it. How many technologies have you logged into and you were like, this is trash? Do you really want to build that for your business? Do you want to be another bot builder where nobody likes the dang technology but you? So here's what I want to do for you. I'm bringing in a few entrepreneurs this week, and I am going to help you codify your intellectual property in a custom technology that is powered by AI. Imagine not only unlocking a new revenue stream for your business, but having a technology that adds to your business valuation, something that adds to the value of your business, that makes you a business that these firms want to buy. I don't know about you, but I like the idea of cashing out. So if you are ready to build your custom technology this week, put tech in the comments, and I'm going to make sure that we get it done. All right. I would go live every day until somebody bought. Every day until somebody bought. These are the things that you could do to sell ugly. I, I don't need, right? I used to run a class a while ago called Ready to Launch, and I said all that you needed was your brain and your mouth. All that you need is your brain and your mouth. And I just came off the cuff doing that. Kendra said that was so helpful because all I do is AI and tech, and that's so fire. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Ramona, are you not selling the right service or are you not packaging it up in a way that people understand? Like everything that I did in there, and you guys can dissect this later on, but what did I do there? I immediately made a connection, immediately gave people the context, right? Immediately made it easy for people to understand. This is something that I teach very often, but my experts, just something for y'all to know. I love y'all. Y'all are the worst. And when I say y'all, I mean me, because I'm an expert too. Do you know how many times my team has to tell me to not say certain things to you guys? Not because you're not brilliant, but like because you're not me. And I think you need to think about the fact that you're not talking to you. Put that in the comments. I'm not talking to me. I'm not talking to myself. And a lot of times when y'all are talking, you are talking as if you are explaining it to yourself. You already know this stuff. You're not talking to you. If a fifth grader cannot understand it, you're doing entirely too damn much. If a fifth grader cannot understand it, you're doing too much. Right? That's right. And Ramona said, I sell HR compliance services mostly to small businesses and some individual. Everyone that are small business owners on here, do y'all know if y'all need HR compliance services or not? I don't, and I run a multi seven figure business. I don't even know if I need HR compliance service. I know that I need, hey, look, your team is growing, right? You're bringing new people on left and right. Your business is growing. I want to make sure that you stay out of trouble when it comes to human resources. I want to make sure that you don't run into any issues. Your business is growing too much, and I want to make sure that I protect you. And here's how this is going to work, right? That is what resonates with me, not do you need HR compliance? That means nothing to me. And I'm somebody that worked in corporate America for years, and I tried to stay away from HR. Right? What problem are we solving? Okay. Think about it. Y'all didn't join today because I said, let me walk you through the inverse reinvestment strategy. It is going to tell you all of the things like how to do your strategy first, and then your offer second, and then your back. What does that mean to y'all? I said, join here. We're going to talk about the reverse investment strategy. It's going to keep you from wasting time and money in your business. You saw reverse investment strategy, but then I anchored to stop wasting time and money in your business. I'm going to show you the right way to invest. Okay. Are we good there? So, like, the most beautiful thing that you learn is to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Why am I even interested in what you have to say? And I led with that. If you guys didn't pick up the pattern, I led with why you should even be interested in what I'm talking about. Okay. So after we do like this fast launch, I said this is good stuff to go back to my desk and rewrite every darn thing. After we do this fast launch, y'all are so cute. Okay, so cute. We want to go now. We have some information to build a funnel. And we need a funnel for a couple of different things. We need a funnel for sales. We need a funnel for visibility. Somebody put those in. So we build our funnel for sales. We build a funnel for visibility. This is what we spend money on next. Funnel for sales, funnel and visibility. Okay. Because we now have some data. Thank you. Okay. So after we build those, we're then going to go into, we can now start investing in customer experience. Why can we invest in customer experience? Because we now have money that we've made from this, and we now have data. How can you invest in doing the fun stuff for clients if you ain't got no clients? I'll wait. How can we invest in the fun stuff for clients if we don't have any clients to even know what they like? If I would have known that all my people want is a church fan, that was all they want is a church fan. They want a church fan. I'm a church fan. But like we have data now. So we can start building out the experience. Okay. And then this is the part that gets a lot of people tripped up. So can we go ahead and address an elephant in the room? Do y'all know why I have branding so far down here? So far down here. Because your brand, first of all, a real brand is very expensive. Okay. But also, a real brand requires data and is iterative. So I hate to put it to you, but if you are like going to spend money on branding and all that stuff, right? Your initial brand could be anything because you don't have the data initially to even brand, because branding is not about you. It's so funny. I have so many people that are like, right, where do we people are like, I want my brand to be a color cuz I want it to be blue cuz blue is my favorite color. Really? What's the color psychology behind blue and the message that you want to bring to your clients? How does that anchor to your position in the marketplace? What are the visuals that are going to go along with this? What is the messaging behind this? Not just that I like blue. And so when we are going through the process of branding, it quite literally requires data. And so initially, I always tell people it's an iteration one brand. Somebody put one in the comments. You create something that is good enough, that is going to get you your initial wins, because you will change so much. You will change so much. Um, and that's real. And I need us to release from that perfection. Somebody put, I don't have the data yet, and that's fine. I don't have the data yet to build a brand. I will also tell you, real talk, I have never paid less than $30,000 for a brand. I have never paid less than $30,000 for a real brand. And so my thing to you is, if you're going to pay somebody to do it, you better let them do it. Right? And guess what? Thea said, wow. And guess what? I still rebrand. I still make changes, because your brand is supposed to evolve with you and your message and your business. Okay. These are good. Do y'all know, like, this is a part of my brand? This is a part of my brand. My entire house is in my brand colors. And it's all for a reason. Right? It's all for a reason. And it all plays a part in the overall strategy. Okay? And this is real. Right. Right. Kendra said, I am my biggest brand marketer, and am. But it's also, I understand the color, the actual psychology behind my brand and behind the imagery. And so a couple of questions came up. Let me make sure I answer these questions. So we had questions about um, what if we have data but feels like it's not the right data? Okay, let's talk about it. So here's the data. These are types of data you can have for your business. Hold on, let me plug my mouse up so I can move around with you guys a little bit. These are the types of data you should have in your business. I think the first type of data we need to have is data about, right, how are people responding to our offer, right? How are people responding to our offer? So the first part of data is, first of all, have you gotten your offer out there in front of people? Are people tuning into your lives? And if so, what are they saying? Right? Are people interested? Are people commenting? Are people engaging, or are they just watching? That's the first part of data. If people are just watching and they're not engaging, then you have data that points you to one or two places. I am not visible enough, or my message is off. Those are the one or two things. So it's not enough to have just data. It's like, how are you interpreting the data? Okay. If you're getting people to engage and then they're not taking the next step, so they're not booking sales calls, right? Malika said, live. What lives? If they're not taking sales calls, they're not going to the next thing. Then you have a thing that gives you data that my offer is not connecting with them. So maybe I need to change the offer and how I talk about it. If they're getting to the sales calls and they're not buying, then you need to look at, did I pre-qualify enough? Right? Or is this the right audience? Am I clear enough on the value? Right? Is my pricing right? So you have all of these different decision trees that you have, but the first thing is to get the data about every step of the process. And guess what? We can't get that data if we don't actually get anything out in front of people. Uh that data just doesn't exist, friends, if we never you know, I don't know if it's just me or you. But that data never exists if we don't actually put ourselves out there to get said data. Just saying. You didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from me. And so like I said, Kendra with the blink blink. And it really is an exercise, guys, in like, because I feel like I need to say this. Who are we, at the end of the day, who are we hiding from? I'm going to put it out there, ugly, unsexy. People come say, have stuff to say to me every week. And so what? Right? And so what? Who are we hiding from? Um, I want to show y'all this because I think some people have seen it before. This was my first little brand, right? The Boss Architect. This was the version that was like, I like the color pink. I made this logo on Canva. I made this website on Wix. And this was my first brand. It was pink. And this picture wasn't even here before. This picture was actually a picture of a stock photo with just some folks in there. And when I finally took brand photos for the first time, I came back and just added my pictures in there, which didn't match anything. But I digress. This brand made six figures because it wasn't about the brand. It was about me having something that showed that I could solve a problem for people. And this brand was a six-figure brand. I did not spend any money on this brand. It was me and Canva. That's it. And Wix. Okay. And then we graduated. We did iteration two. I got a new brand, took some photos. Y'all see that? Started talking my big girl stuff, got a real logo made. Started introducing Kendra J. Lewis to the world because that was the version of my brand that's like, you need to stop, right, hiding behind the Boss Architect. Like, you are the Boss Architect. The Boss Architect isn't the business, you're the Boss Architect. So this is my first big girl website. Put it on Squarespace. Spent a nice little chunk of change for this one, right? But this was my multiple six figure era. It's great. This took me into the next era of my business. It was the rose gold era, but that's fine. We won't hold that against me. Everybody was doing rose gold in their brand then, right? And my brand was a lot lighter and more flirty and more feminine. And that's good for me because that's a part of me, right? But then we started moving into my F500 fierce era. So this is the year that I hit seven figures. This was iteration four. Do y'all see like there's a brand, a new brand at every level because we continued to get more data, not just about who I was, but about who my clients were. And I want to let you know each one of these coincided with an up level, right? Then we went into my moody era. So this is where I started to be more on the Fortune 500 side, more on the strategy side. This is when I dumped business credit completely. Um and like it is what it is. Like this was the newest version of me, more mature, talking to a completely different crowd. And that's that. And so this is my seven figure plus era. And then this was the season of the Boss Architect, really combining that Kendra J. Lewis with Boss Architect. And that's when the Boss Architect signature red hair look was born. All right. And so when I'm being especially fiery, you'll see me with the red hair. And so that is that. And so every iteration, this one is more like structural, all of this stuff. But these are journeys. And every iteration had a level, a new level that I was going to attach with it. But every iteration also came attached with me doing something ugly first. Every level comes with doing something ugly first. Come on, Kendra, praise break. You talking my talk. That's where I'm at now. I took the first webinar of yours I ever watched and created a plan from that. Then I turned around and ended up having my first five-figure month in August and have been since growing and positioning myself to get even better. Now I'm getting ready to deep dive into the Boardroom Ready program from you, and it's up from there. Thank you, Kendra girl. Thank you, Kendra girl. You're speaking my love language, which are results. Thanks, Boo. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, so let's keep going. We got a couple more things in the reverse investment strategy. Couple more things in reverse investment strategy. Then I will let y'all go. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. The funny thing is, y'all know I have people in the same programs as y'all. I don't feel like I got no help. I don't feel like I get no support. I don't feel like I see you enough. I don't feel like this. I'm like, are you serious? Mind you, that was a free webinar I watched. I knew I had to spend my money. You dropped too many gems. Thank you. Thank you. Right? I appreciate that. Let's get back to the reverse investment strategy. So we know that branding comes later on. Then we move into like your real advertising strategy. And so, yes, you can start advertising a little up here, like break into it. But by the time you get here, by the time you have all this data, it's time for you to become a real advertiser. A real advertiser. That's not somebody who run a Facebook ad campaign once every 5 months, get scared because they lost some money and then stop. This is someone that now consistently runs and manages their campaigns because eventually you'll figure out that that is the lifeblood of your lead flow into your business. And there are multiple different modalities for advertising. And this is where you have enough data and enough capital to then start really becoming an advertiser. Okay. This is where you don't have to chase anymore, guys. Like up here, if you need to get a win, y'all gonna have to realize put in some elbow grease up here then. When people are like, I don't want to have to do this and I don't want to, you know what? If you haven't made any money in your business yet, you need to do this. You need to do all of the things. You need to experience it first. And I need you to ask yourself a question. Have I done everything within my power to go and get a win yet? Have I done everything within my power to go and get a win yet? Or am I waiting for all the things to be present for it to be easy right now? Guess what? Whenever you're starting anything, it doesn't necessarily get to be easy at first. I know y'all don't want to hear that. You're just like, skip me through the steps. Here's what happens when I skip people through the steps: they don't even appreciate when it is easy and they don't know how to work it. Think about it. If you had to go and get your first sale, I do this with my clients. I do this with my clients often. So there was a group that I had them build out their entire cash infusion with me. We all did our cash infusion together. Some of y'all got my cash infusion method. You ain't never used it, right? It's a heavy lift. It's a launch that you build out in one day. You get all your ducks in a row and you work your behind off that week. But let me tell you something. What my people did was they did it with me. The lowest amount that we had that was made that week from anybody in that group was $16,000. That was the lowest amount that somebody made. We were having 30,000, 25,000, 40K weeks that week. And they worked their butt off. I worked their behinds off that week. They were tired. And you know what happened afterwards? I'm like, now you've done it. You have your offer validated. You know that people want your offer. You know that we nailed your messaging. You put in elbow grease this week. Now let's go ahead and automate this. You're welcome. So they've gotten through doing it. They had to put in the elbow grease. They experienced what it was like to work for it. And so when that funnel dropped in, when I built the automation for it and then started running some ads to it, boom, it was easy. But when you skip through that portion, when people just like, well, just build it for me because I don't want to have to go live. I don't want to have to do it. I'm like, do you realize if you don't do this, even when all the stuff is built for you, it's still not going to work how you want it to work? Because you never had to go through the process of going to fight for it. The reverse investment strategy that I'm showing you is real, and it is what I used in my business because I went through the steps and I had to do work at every step. Every step not only gave me data, but every step prepared me. Do y'all realize that? Every single step prepared me. It was not just about getting the money. It was not just about getting the feedback and the data. It was also preparing me to go to the next step. Because what happens when we get something that we're not yet prepared for yet? We can't keep it and we can't sustain it. Okay? And so, a couple of things that I want you guys to understand. Once you're done with this, then you have a whole system that now you can start bringing in support to help you. Why? Because now you're clear on your strategy. You know how to sell your offer. You have your back end system built. You have your funnels running. You have your branding that you can now explain to somebody what your business even stands for. You have advertising that is now running. Now you can hire somebody to manage the systems that you have already built. Not saying I don't know what I want you to do. I'm just paying for somebody and I want them to figure it out. No, there are some things that foundationally you need to set so that you can then hand it off to someone. And then let me just say down at the bottom, throughout the entirety of this, yes, you can get coaching. Yes, you can continue to learn and educate yourself. And yes, you probably need to be investing in therapy as well. Because I have too many people that try to make their business coach their therapist. As an entrepreneur, from entrepreneur to entrepreneur, get a therapist, a real one. I love you. Get a therapist, a real one. And that's just the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so. So here's what we're going to do. What we are going to do is I am doing something special this week, right? We're talking about systems, we're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about doing things in the right order. Some of you have been waiting on this. So I'm going to say, I sent an email last week for people. If you replied quiet to that email, you're going to be getting a special invitation from me to a private session. If you did not reply quiet to that email, and if you do not reply before 2 p.m. today, I want you to click the button that's inside of here that says register for Quiet Wealth Unleashed, because we are doing a special unveiling this week for a system that is going to change your business. So, how many people are tired of piecemealing together all of these technologies and systems in their business? Let me know. How many people just wish that they had all of the systems they needed all in one place? They could just run their business, get the education that they need, understand why they are doing the things that they're doing, and you don't have to be a techie in order to do so. We are unveiling this week what we created to make marketing easy for non-marketers and technology easy for non-techies. Okay? We want to make marketing easy for non-marketers and technology easy for non-techies. Yep, if you replied last week, you're getting a special email from me today at noon. I'm sorry, at 2 p.m. If you didn't reply though, either go find that email I sent you last Sunday night, get it out your spam and reply, or go ahead and click the link below to register for the session I am doing. So there'll be a session tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and a public session um, Thursday at 7 p.m. Okay. Let's get these systems built. Uh, and little birdie told me, we may be unveiling a new way to launch your business quickly. Thea, you said earlier the Kendra Shopping Network. Let's just say, what if I could create that for y'all? Where you had your own shopping network and you had a sales event that you could do with a custom stage, with a custom presentation, custom sales event. What if you could do that? Let's just say we may or may not be doing something like that to show you guys how you can install that in your business. Okay. So I'm super excited. Like I said, tomorrow night and Thursday night is going down. So go ahead and make sure you register. I'm super, super excited to show you guys. Quiet wealth is what we're unlocking. Okay. So, guys, hopefully this helped. Thank you for everyone that asked questions. Thank you for everyone that joined me. I cannot wait to see how you unlock this in your business and how you get your investments in the right order so that you are doing the things that actually move the needle forward in your business, that drive change, that drive results. Okay. Love you so much, guys. See you guys on the next session. Bye for now.